Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of the Breath of Fire 2 tutorial. In this part of the tutorial, I will be covering the overworld section of Mount Fubi, combat formations, enemy encounters, and the Harpies boss fight. If you like this guide, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to watch my runs or be alerted when more tutorial videos drop. Let's get started. Upon leaving hometown, we will begin with a menu. In this menu, we will equip the newly purchased gear. Give Ryu and Bo a steel armor, salad bowl, and suede armor. These are all the first option in the menu. Optionally, you can switch Ryu back to slot 1 through to the Harpy fight. Ryu is one of 2 characters in this game that can counterattack, so there is some benefit to having him up front. Finally, go into items and clean the inventory to quickly bring your items to a known position. Swap your herbs with smokes, so the smokes are in slot 1. You can also swap the herbs with the life PL first, so you can keep the herbs near the top. End the menu with a smoke. Using a smoke will exit the menu automatically. Smokes will be relevant for the first half of the run. These items reduce the encounter rate per tile by half as long as the smoke is active. Smokes are active for 64 walking tiles on screens the game considers hostile, even if you cannot get a fight on that screen. This doesn't exactly mean the encounter rate is 50% during the smoke. The image on screen shows the encounter rate per tile depending on enemy activity on the screen. The smoke affects these encounter rates by half. However, after some number of steps, you will be guaranteed an encounter. The number counter gets reset when transitioning to a new field screen or exiting a random encounter. Now for the overworld. The overworld utilizes a day-night cycle that advances by the number of frames spent on the overworld screen. I won't go into too much detail about this, but it will be relevant during the speedrun later. You will want to walk from hometown through to this mountain path shown here. You can make it without an encounter, but you are likely going to get a single encounter on the way. In this area, you can fight the following enemies. Of these enemies, the sludges are the only enemy that can be killed in one hit at this level without any strategy. So let's talk about the special abilities and formations. Each character in Breath of Fire 2 has a unique ability in the second slot of their combat menu. For Ryu, Guts is a self-healing ability that uses his Guts stat and his current HP that has a chance of failing. Bo has an ability called Shot that has a chance to instantly kill the enemy target, also with a chance of failing and dealing only 1 damage. For this section up to Harpies, Shot is a respectable time save to handle what I will call strong enemies. On the overworld, I would call the Hunchback and Gonghead strong enemies, so consider shots on them while Ryu handles the weaker enemies. Party formations will affect the damage rolls in combat. Here are the formation's attack and defense factors, as well as the probability of party members being attacked per party size. Since you will have a 1 or 2 party size for a while, I will explain the 2 party. You will be in normal formation by default, and your only other option in a 2 party size is Scramble. Normal will have no damage boosts or penalties, nor defense boosts or penalties. In Scramble, the person in slot 1 will have a damage boost and defense penalty, while the person in slot 2 has a damage penalty and defense boost. Since Ryu can counter, having him in slot 1 is more desirable, and in Scramble gives him a damage boost with little worry to extra damage, because he is naturally sturdy. However, let's go back to the overworld encounters. I would take these world map encounters in normal and have Bo use shots on Gongheads and Hunchbacks. If you see leeches, swap to Scramble and have Ryu attack those. You will notice that for the most part, your party is slower than enemies. This will be true for most of the game, but I will mention opportunities where you could outspeed enemies. Make your way to Mount Fubi. With the smoke active, you will likely not get an encounter on this first screen. Enter the cave after some text. In the cave, if you followed exact movement, you will need to use your second smoke here. These are the encounters you will see in the Mount Fubi cave. Since this area is a highly active hostile screen, you will likely get several encounters on the way to the boss. In this area, I would keep the party in Scramble and have Bo utilize Shot on widows and corpses. Ryu can handle the goblins and leeches easily, except at level 1, Ryu can underroll goblins. Ideally, you want to have as few encounters as possible, but it would be nice for Ryu and Bo to get to level 2 for higher damage output on the Harpies. Not a big deal if you get to level 3 before the boss. Before you exit the cave, or as soon as you are outside, make sure you have Ryu in slot 2. This is critical for the boss fight. The Harpies fight is a common casual killer. The Harpy in front has 80 HP, while the two in the back have 40 HP each, but all three deal the same damage. The battle script will have the Harpies attack Ryu only unless he is dead. This is why we put him in the back in Scramble, so he will have the defense boost. The script will have all Harpies attack on turn 1. On turn 2, they will attack each other with Paolo into Pooty into Peach being the ones taking damage. For this reason, you will want to focus Peach as the first one to kill, then Pooty, then Paolo. The Harpies will resume attacking Ryu for the rest of the fight starting on turn 3. The Harpies can hit Ryu for as low as 1 damage and as high as 5. With that in mind, heal Ryu if he gets very low on HP. That is the entirety of the fight and will conclude part 3. Part 4 will cover the rest of Mount Fubi, the Roaches fight, and the concept of death warping. Thank you for watching and be on the lookout for the next video.